Great, the needed result as we go further. Let's move on. In terms of the progress achieved with the advocacy, in our view, Jacobs or Vessel, you can go about it.
The correlation, the educational correlations of these civil society organizations is that areas progress in our advocacy engagement because we started with first we started with like engaging the Ministry of Education,
Mhm.
engaging with public accounts committee always is finite. We look at influential lawmakers, brought influential lawmakers together so that they can have buying and have a support in the treatment of the education budget
Mhm.
with the like of President with the like of Member Groups, among others, the Octobos, the Octobo, for all of those people together to have a sit with them and discuss with them the importance of implement by looking at those policies that Liberia have and fix of signatures too. So by looking at our efforts as citizens, looking at our advocacy engagement strategies and methodology that we all that we deploy to increase the education budget from 12.5 to now 1.8. Our advocacy like which is a great milestone achievement that we have had. That was also at our engagement started. I wish that the government was just for example podcast or the draft version
Okay.
and
Are we anticipating progress? Is that progress or are we still struggling?
call that a progress, right? I would call that a progress because you have something that was like 25 and now you have from 2.8 now you have increment of 2.3%. So I think you have made something from that particular intervention. Yeah, even though we are striving to get to 20%, but you have like 5.2%. So I think by 2025,
Mhm.
while we are civil society organizations, we are very will continue engage with our lawmaker, will continue to engage with the county level authorities so
Okay.
that the issues with 5%, with 5.2%
Mhm.
added to 5%. I just wanted to add to the progress.
Mm.
Talk about progress.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
Back at um, so as I mentioned, civil society organizations that are member of the coalition have been one of the individual projects in six of Nigeria's counties.
Mhm.
And these six counties coming together make up almost around 60% of the total population.
Okay.
So we have been working in six counties on different education programs. That is progress for us. The next thing that we have done is that we have
Mhm.
to identify some of the
Mhm.
so three of the civil society organizations on what else to identify the system to identify what are the issues there are
Okay.
and this study finding is about. And then we were also able to identify, like I said, the challenges that confront the sector, like I mentioned, infrastructure, all right, teacher remuneration, all right, logistics, and all of that. So for us, you cannot look for advocacy without having data your argument. So we do have the existing data that have been collected by us and analyzed and published. So for us, that is progress.
Mhm. Mhm.
Without the correlation, any other pattern.
You mean this year progress?
I mean, absolutely,
Okay.
absolutely.
As compared to 2, 3 years back.
Yes, possibly, yes.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then we, like my colleague said, we have embarked on an advocacy for increment in the budget, and that took us to 14.8% from 12.5.
Okay.
So that's around 2.3% increment. So we consider that as a progress. Imagine that this 2024 budget is the budget on which we started the advocacy
Wow.
we were taking from 12 to 14.5 to 14.8. So for us, that is a little bit margin. Although we did not reach the 20%, but
Mhm.
we see as a step, the right step in the right direction. So So we are now going to use that foundation that has been laid to be able to work with lawmakers at the legislature and education stakeholders to push forward to see if we can be able to just reach the 20% reach by 2025.
Okay. Great. So we'll get the lines activated shortly, but let's look at your next advocacy. What next? In terms of someone's listening up, with this eight coalition working together, what next will be your next scope of action in terms of advocating?
All right. So I'll begin.
Mm.
I would say, like the portfolio, like you said, that need of eight civil society organizations, and civil society organizations have activities at top level. That's the global level. So at the council level, each civil society organization want to go to the global
Okay.
that and they are going to work with the campus execution officer, going to be working with the campus people, the district people, to make sure that to have a buy-in from the community, but this will come from the community. So that you said we're going to make it available the copies of this budget to these stakeholders so that the one is there
Mhm.
for the what is there for the regulations of features, what is there for when it comes to the stationery supplies to the schools, so that because the great objectives of this provision is to improve the outcomes.
Okay.
So additionally,
Mhm.
as a follow-up, next step, you mentioned most people with the from
to the local level, at the city levels. So we're going to be engaging them to ensure that resources that have been allocated to the sector is properly utilized and accounted for. Okay. The next thing we are moving forward with is that we are working with the with USAID to print out more copies of the budget to be able to distribute and or circulate to and amongst education stakeholders at a lower level, like those in the school board, the PTA structures, and all of that. The next thing we are also planning is to continue engagement with the legislature so that by 2025, we would have already have a clear blueprint developed by the Ministry of Education on how they when we reach
The 20%.
the 20%, how would that money and where would that money go? So we are working with the Ministry of Education. We already know that there's a 6,000 teachers gap in
Mhm.
the sector.
Okay.
So if we reach to 20%, what additional thing are we going to add to the sector? So that conversation is currently ongoing with the Ministry of Education. And I'll be really honest with you, the new minister has been very, very supportive to the work of the coalition. And we want to applaud her. We want to ask her to continue that. So she and her team, they have been working with us. And so we are working with them to develop these kinds of, beforehand benchmarks, beforehand pro activities on paper, so that as soon as we reach to the budget preparation process, we can begin to tell them, say, look, this is, the priorities of the education sector. I mean, these are the priorities of the education sector, and then we can begin to address them. So
Okay.
that's exactly what
Great. So before I put the lines up, the President 100 is durable achievement against education. What's your take on it, Jacob Sylvester?
Yeah.
You listen up to our president. 100 days in office, education. What's your intake?
So first of all, we want to applaud the president for some of the initial steps that have been taken in the sector. So recently, the government of Liberia, through I think the Telecommunications Corporation or something around there,
Mhm.
they launched the ICT program for young people.
Okay.
Which is an education program that we very much applaud. And then the government of Liberia also in the national budget allocated some $3.5 million to be able to handle and pay for the
Six millions.
yeah,
Mhm.
six teachers. I mean, WAS students. All right, some $3.5 million to cover for WAS fee, And then the government of Liberia, according to the reports, have already made some initial steps towards handling payment for local and international students
Mm-hmm.
Who are on government scholarship. Some of these students' tuition and compensation, compensation were not paid for several months.
Okay.
So the government, although in the president's message he did not say clearly what the dollar and cent has been, but we are told that there has been some progress made on how to address these issues. So basically, in the 100-day deliverable for education, those are things that we were able to identify, and we think those are some very good steps in the right direction.
All right. Great. That's very good step in the right direction. If you want to participate, be involved in the discussion. Jacob J. Plummer, Executive Director, Institute for Policy Evaluation and Research. Sylvester GMC, Program Manager, Institute for Democratic Action and Development. Live with us on this last segment of the Truth Breakfast Show. You can pick up the phone and place in a call to participate. 0777-285-961. To form part of this discussion, you can send an SMS as well. 0777-285-961. 0777-405017. Call and let's have your take on it. Let's hear from you this morning. 0777-285-961. As we talk education matter, on this last segment of the Truth Breakfast Show, 96.1 the Heart and Soul of Liberia. 0777-285-961. While we anticipate calls or text messages coming, Jacob and sister. Back then, our former president term, our assistant. Okay, let's see if I can pick this one on the line. Good morning. Okay, go ahead. Okay. Thank you so much. Let's pick another call on the line. Thank you so much. You can leave on. Let's see if I can go to another caller. This morning. Good morning. Morning. Good morning. Yeah, please be audible. Go ahead. I mean, I'm struggling to hear you saying thank you to them for what? Hello. Okay. I think I have to leave you. Good morning. Morning. Go ahead. Okay. Okay. Mm.
talent, our young people who are, almost 70% of the population of the country. So that is one of the surest ways through which we can, I think, independent of education is into where this country will go. So I also like to thank Brett for his talking about education, also ensuring that something more important that is going to get students from solve this country. So as a politician, we ensuring that education is 100%. With that, one of my issues I have facilitated education for so long is that here, with our partners, and we are looking forward to pushing champions and education.
Okay.
Sure that 2025 will be and 100% we can be assured that get on the right program. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Let's just squeeze one more last caller in because of time. Thank you. Let's see this call on the line. The line is still banking. Good morning. Okay. So little by little, eh? Okay. Thank you very much. Yes, Jacob, Sylvester, you listening up to the callers? Yes, we can use the next 3 minutes or so. Then we'll do our parting comments. Yes.
Okay, we just want to extend our tender appreciation to our partners or USAID for this continuous support to Liberia educational system. Strengthening the education system there. One of our colleagues said, looking at our population, the youthful populations, which is now placed at approximately 70% of our total population. So by educating them means that our development agenda will be improved as compared to any other country. And we as civil society organizations, we are going to continue our engagement with the national legislature, with other educational partners at the national and local levels to make sure that 2025 comes 2025, the 5.2% can be added to the 14.8 so that we can have the 20% increment in the educational budget.
Okay. Yes.
Yes. So just to add onto that, I want to thank the callers for calling and making their contribution to this conversation. This is a national conversation. It is not in any specific person's interest. It is in the interest of the country, and we call on everyone to put hands on deck to be able to help us to get this done. We need better financing for the education system in order for it to work. And secondly, I want to assure the public that we are going to work together as a coalition to carry on robust monitoring of what has been allocated already to the Ministry of Education. And then we're going to work together with the legislature to see if we can push further to be able to get the remaining 5.2% of the national budget allocated to the education sector. So I want to thank you, O'Neill, and your team for hosting us, and to USAID for the opportunity they have provided to us to be here today.
Great. Jacob J. Plummer, Executive Director, Institute for Policy Evaluation Research, Sylvester GMC, Program Manager, Institute for Democratic Action and Development. Many thanks to USAID for making this come true. Education matters. This is our go home this morning on the Thursday edition of the Truth Breakfast Show. It's been wonderful serving breakfast since 7:30 this morning. We'll be back, God willing, on tomorrow for the Friday edition of the Breakfast Show. Thanks to all of you been following Richard, Lucinda, Maka. My name is O'Neill. In the midst of all what we do, country phrase. Have a blessed Thursday. Bye bye.